Right now at 6, 2 Madison officers are recovering from injuries after an attempt to escort a suspended student off of school grounds.
And students in the Adams Friendship District Tour are helping their classmates see themselves in a different light. More on their Body Positivity Project.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
2 Madison police officers are recovering tonight following an incident at Jefferson Middle School.
Police say they were treated and released after being injured in a fight with a 12-year-old girl. Rose Schmidt joins us to explain the girl was not supposed to be on school grounds. Rose?
Yeah, so police say the 12-year-old girl was supposed to be suspended, but she refused to leave Jefferson Middle School when asked. Police tell me the girl kicked 2 officers who responded to the scene and hit one in the mouth. Officers say yesterday morning the girl was being loud, hit a classmate, and threatened another with a fire extinguisher. Staff members at the school say they asked for help from Madison police after they couldn't calm her down. Police say an officer was treated for whiplash and shoulder injuries, and another suffered a split lip. The principal, Tequila Kurth, sent a letter home to families today saying, in part, I met with school staff to review the incident and to ensure that all students and staff are supported and that our school continues to be a safe and positive environment for all. The girl was taken to the Juvenile Reception Center on tentative charges of battery to an officer, among others. Both Madison Police and the school district declined our request for an on-camera interview today.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting. Rose, thank you. A Madison teenager is facing a tentative charge after being accused of sexually assaulting a classmate. This was at La Follette High School. It happened over the course of a few weeks. Police say the 15-year-old girl told officers she was repeatedly and forcefully groped in February by a 16-year-old student. According to the report, that assault happened in several areas of the school. Police say the victim suffered pain and soreness after some of the incidents and at times skipped class to avoid the assaults.
Turning to weather now, we'll have one more sunny day to get outside tomorrow before a messy weekend forecast. Let's check in with Gary.
Yeah, Saturday looks really iffy at this point. A lot of questions about that. Right now, it's just wet out there. We've got clouds that have rolled in from mid to late afternoon, and there have been some showers. Even a couple of thunderstorms pop up, mainly to the south across parts of northern Illinois. But can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm, at least from the first band of showers. The second band coming through Madison right now, and the skies clear out pretty nicely after that. Temperatures this morning started out in the 40s. A few places in southeastern Wisconsin are actually a little bit colder, in the mid to upper 30s. High temperatures today were generally in the upper 60s to the lower 70s across much of our viewing area. Farther to the north and west, though, where the clouds stayed all day, temperatures didn't get out of the 50s toward La Crosse, and temperatures now have fallen into the 50s, or the rain showers have started. Janesville still at 61 degrees, but Saturday, it's not a question of rain, it's a question of how much snow is going to stick. We'll see rain changing to snow in the afternoon. The possibility exists at least for 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, mainly on grassy areas. But overnight, look for the showers to end. Skies will clear out. Temperatures will drop to the mid-40s by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow will be a sunny, windy, and slightly cooler day with a high of 62. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Thank you, Gary. Dane County is now home to the first landfill biogas facility in the country.
No other government has made an investment like Dane County has done to not only just monetize landfill gas, which is fairly common because there's a very good market for it, but to make a commitment to clean water for our farmers.
The facility will turn landfill trash into renewable fuel and help farmers manage cow manure more responsibly to reduce harmful runoff into our lakes and streams. In just the first year of operation, the biogas facility will displace 3 million gallons of fossil fuels, which is the equivalent of taking almost 5,000 cars off the road. Quick Trip stores across the Midwest will be the primary distributor of the renewable vehicle fuel.
A federal agency is calling on environmental regulators to re-examine the use of hydrofluoric acid a year after an explosion at an oil refinery in northern Wisconsin. That explosion in Superior sent debris within 150 feet of the Husky Energy refinery's highly toxic hydrofluoric acid tank, forcing a large part of that city to evacuate. The U.S. Chemical Safety Board wants the EPA to review a 1993 study to assess the effectiveness of existing regulations and the possibility of using safer technologies in refineries. Tonight, the Middleton community is mourning the loss of one of its police officers. A post on the department's Facebook page says Katie Barrios passed away from an aggressive, malignant form of brain cancer. She had been fighting it since January of 2017. Middleton Police Chief Charles Folk honored Barrios as an accomplished police officer, a friend, and inspiration in the way she fought her diagnosis and lived life to the fullest. She leaves behind her husband, Joe, and 3 children.
A Rock County man is giving back to a nonprofit that specializes in mental health initiatives. According to Executive Director Lindsay Stevens, NAMI Rock County has existed at its permanent location for years, but still struggles to make ends meet with limited resources. A local financial advisor is now pledging $12,000 in donations to the group. He says mental health initiatives are important for helping people in need.
Share the story. Help people, be there to listen if somebody needs help, because it's that subject that people think about, they bury themselves into depression, they don't talk with others.
Krieger says he's doing this to honor his brother who died by suicide more than a decade ago.
Next at 6, do you remember what you did for your senior project? Probably involved some sort of cumulative study, a big presentation, maybe even some community service.
Well, 2 high school seniors are changing the game with what they did for their final project. Jamie Perez joins us now with more on how these girls are paving a path for others. Jamie?
Well, I don't even remember what I did for my senior project, but I know for sure it was not as awesome as what these girls are doing. These girls made their final project about more than just themselves, and it's actually teaching others how 2 people can change a community.
I kind of did the same with Hannah, where like best body while their butts are hanging out, and then leggings to make your butt look better.
This one was also plastic surgery, and they're like pulling her face tighter.
These girls are presenting collages they made out of magazine clippings.
This one, she was in a cowboy hat in the sunset, but her butt was sticking like way out.
Putting together pictures of things that might make women feel insecure and turning the message around.
I also changed this one that says, "Who will make you happy today?" to "You will make you happy today."
It's just one of the many workshops put together by these 2 high school seniors for their final project.
Especially with social media and like Instagram and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of pressure on girls to be like act a certain way or like dress a certain way, look a certain way. And I think all of that affects the mental health.
Dina Johnson and Jaden Frank made it their goal to pull off a day like this.
There's one down here that says material girl, and I changed that to strong girl.
Their final project was to empower the women in their school.
We want to be like perfect, and like we don't want to have like our flaws. Like we want people to like us.
Yeah, I think just everyone wants to be like that perfect image. Everybody wants to be important. Everyone wants to be like the girl that everyone looks at and is like, oh my God, that girl's so beautiful, or oh my God, that girl's like has a perfect life. And everybody wants it so bad that they're always striving for it. So they'll go through like whatever means to try to get it. And when you don't get it and you don't like, you know, have that like contentment in yourself of like, you know, really embracing yourself, I feel like that just like makes a lot of things go wrong.
They've spent the last several months making sure their final grade was about letting others know you are just as perfect as the people you strive to be like.
I'm just super proud of the girls and everything they've accomplished in such a short time. I think it's important to mention that when we unveiled this idea, it was only going to be conceptual in nature. Like, I didn't think this would actually become reality.
A reality with a major turnout. Every student who went to these workshops got a get out of class free card to find themselves experiencing a different type of education.
Really good, especially for the younger girls in the school, to realize like you're worth a lot more than you think you are.
A day that teaches women the importance of mental health, that you talk to yourself more than you talk to anyone else. So make sure you're telling yourself the right things.
One that says pretty, and I put a carrot that says you're pretty.
Dina and Jaden are taking all of their findings and putting together one final presentation to show their results of this day of workshops. They're presenting it to a panel of judges in the middle of May, where they will get their final grade for it.
All right, Jamie Perez reporting that. Jamie, thank you. And while we're talking about mental health, a reminder that tomorrow is the last day you can apply to be a BU ambassador. This is our latest effort in our Time for Kids campaign with SSM Health. We're looking for anyone who works with teens and children, coaches, troop leaders, band directors, teachers, you name it. And if you are all about encouraging kids to be confident in what makes them unique, we want to help. Ambassadors will receive resources and guidance on how to spread that message. If you'd like to apply, head to channel3000.com/timeforkids.
The Madison Diocese's new bishop is coming from Indiana, but he's a Wisconsin native.
The beer and cheese are just a couple of the reasons he's excited to be home. We'll introduce you to Bishop Hying next on News 3 Now at 6. There's a new bishop leading Catholics in southern Wisconsin.
West Allis native Donald Hying will lead the Madison Diocese. Our Keely Arthur was at his first Mass and brings us a closer look. Keely?
Well, Bishop Donald Hying is replacing the late Bishop Robert Morlino. Hying still has a lot of family living in our area, including a brother who is a farmer out in Jefferson County. Bishop Hying says it's good to come home, and he's getting a warm welcome. Bishop Donald Hying presided over his first service as Bishop of Madison this afternoon.
I'm your new bishop, Bishop Don Hying. That fact is almost as surprising to me as it is to you.
And just before that, he spoke at his first news conference here.
And I'm very comfortable with cheese. So yeah, Wisconsin is home.
Hying says his parents are from Iowa and Grant counties. He was raised in West Allis, ordained a priest in Milwaukee in 1989.
And knew him when he was just Father Don. I trust him, and I know he's going to really love the people here, and they're going to love him.
Prior to his new role, Hying served as bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Gary, Indiana. He says he learned a lot there and is committed to bringing the mission-style work he did to our area.
There's tremendous economic and racial disparity in Gary. I always felt that's exactly where the church needs to be.
Hying is expected to be more of a bridge builder than the late Morlino. He says he plans to visit with every Catholic church in the area.
So I expect to put a lot of miles on my car in my first year just to get to know people.
We caught up with one parishioner who said this is a change he welcomes and many others are ready for.
I think he's very collegial in that way. I think he is very personable. He wants to have all these different parts committed to the same goal, and I think that his personality, might help a little bit.
Now, prior to his death, Morlino promised to respond firmly to any allegations of sexual misconduct by members of the clergy or seminarians, including naming them if appropriate. Hying says he would follow that lead.
Well, great opportunity for him in leading the diocese. Keely Arthur reporting. Keely, thank you.
Thanks, Keely.
We're in for a winter wake-up call as temperatures drop back down into the 30s this weekend.
We're going to be dodging some messy precipitation, too. Gary has the first alert forecast when News 3 Now at 6 continues. We're sharing a local call for action from a Stoughton woman who was targeted by scammers during the loss of the love of her life.
Marge Kittleson lost her husband Lowell last month. She says he was one of the kindest human beings she'd ever met and that she was lucky to have him as her partner for 15 years.
He was known by so many people. He had a heart of gold.
As you can imagine, last month was very difficult for Marge, but here's what made that time even more trying. The day she posted Lowell's obituary online, someone called her, pretending to be the funeral home, trying to confirm details of his death certificate. They knew everything, from his birth and death date to his relatives, but when they asked for his social security number, she started asking questions, and they hung up. The thing is, this new type of Low really isn't new at all.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Funeral scams have been common for decades. You know, when you'd get pumped something in the newspaper, you could get a call.
And Steve Knoll from Madison College sharing tips to protect your family from being taken advantage of and taking advantage of the loss of a loved one. That's tonight. Join us for that story on News 3 Now at 10.
And Gary's here now with a check on the weather and everybody looking ahead toward the weekend and worrying about what's coming.
Yeah, you know, we're going to see some rain. It'll probably change over to snow. The big question is how much, you know, this is the end of April. You don't expect a lot of accumulating snow. Let's start out by taking a look at what's going on right now. It's all rain. There have been a couple of thunderstorms down to the south and northern Illinois, but high-resolution Doppler radar shows the first band of showers kind of merging with the second band. And pretty much once you get north and west of Richland Center and Wisconsin Dells, tells the rain has come to an end. The rain steadily moving off toward the east, should be out of the Madison area within the next couple of hours, probably clearing the far eastern portions of our viewing area by about 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. Visible cloud track shows the sunshine we had this morning, then the band of clouds, and you can see just how quickly the skies clear out behind it, already clearing just to the west of La Crosse. So we should expect skies to clear later on tonight once the rain comes to an end. Now we turn our attention to Saturday. Here's the problem. A lot of moisture on the computer model forecast, perhaps an inch or more down toward the Illinois state line, even more into parts of northern Illinois and Iowa, with lesser amounts up to the north. Now, the amount of moisture obviously would be dependent on, would make a difference as far as the snowfall is concerned. Right now, our thinking is about a 1 to 3 inch snowfall, mainly on grassy areas through this area. However, a difference of a couple degrees of temperature, a couple degrees colder, we could see more snow than that. A couple degrees warmer, we might not see any snow at all. And again, I'm going to go back to that last graphic here, and you'll see that pretty much, you know, if you have an inch of rain and you make that out as in the form of snow, you know, that could be as much as maybe 9 or 10 inches of snow if it all fell as snow. But again, the thinking for us, at least me and Dave Caulfield and Dana Fulton, we all talked about this, but right now we're thinking about a 1 to 3 inch snowfall, mainly on grassy areas at this point. Obviously, that's subject to change as we get closer to see if the temperatures get a little warmer or a little colder. So we have an alert day, obviously, in the forecast for Saturday for windy and colder weather. The rain probably starting out as rain will mix with and change to snow during the afternoon and then end in the evening. Again, the earlier it ends, the lesser the snowfall amounts. The later it holds on, the greater the snowfall amounts. Crazy Legs Classic on Saturday. Windy and probably rain in the morning. The better chances for snow will arrive in the afternoon. Live view from the Quebe Radio Skycam in Platteville, looking pretty gloomy there. The showers moving on through. The WISC Skycam also showing cloudy skies and some scattered showers here. And the Edgewater Skycam downtown Madison, mostly cloudy skies and pretty dreary downtown now after seeing sunshine for much of the day. Almanac shows our high hit 69 after starting out at 42, but with the rain, we've dropped to 54 degrees. Winds are out of the north at 15 miles per hour. Forecast for tonight. Cloudy skies, showers ending this evening, then clearing overnight. Low temperature dropping to 43. Tomorrow, look for a sunny, windy, and slightly cooler day with a high temperature of 62. On future track, the showers moving on out pretty quickly tonight. You can see how those skies clear out by morning. We should be mostly clear with low temperatures in the lower 40s. Plenty of sunshine for tomorrow with highs in the lower 60s. Tomorrow night, clear skies will turn cloudy late. Temperatures will drop into the mid-30s to around 40 degrees. The warmest temperatures on Saturday will be in the morning, but watch those temperatures drop into the 30s, and that's when we could see that mixture of rain and snow. Again, rainfall amounts, heaviest amounts toward the Illinois state line. Snowfall amounts, probably about a 1 to 3 inch snowfall on grassy areas. 7 to 10 day forecast, we start melting the snow on Sunday if there is any, high of 48. Temperatures gradually warm up next week, some rain chances midweek and warmer toward the end of the week.
It's time for the NFL draft. The Packers have some pretty important picks, and some former Badgers are waiting for their names to be called. The story coming up in sports. The NFL draft begins tonight. Normally, the Green Bay Packers have to sit around and wait, but when you don't make the playoffs, the payoff is a better drafting position. The Packers have 10 picks right now, including 2 in the first round, the 12th and 30th overall. Teams get 10 minutes to make their picks in the first round, so you'd figure the Packers pick will come right around 9 o'clock or a little after. They'll do just the first round tonight. The second and third rounds are Friday, and rounds 4 through 7 Saturday. This is the second Packers draft with the general manager, Brian Gutekunst, in charge.
I've been around 2 of the best that have ever done this, in Ron and Ted. And as good as they were, they had their misses too. So, you know, I think there's pressure to get it right each and every pick, each and every signing.
Don't expect any former Wisconsin Badgers to be taken in the first round tonight, but there could be 3 offensive linemen going in the middle rounds. Bo Benshaw, David Edwards, and Michael Dieter figure to land somewhere in the 2nd to 4th rounds. Dieter could be the first to go. He can play center, guard, and tackle, and what's kept scouts interested, certainly because of that. It's the kind of versatility that has served him well in college and will help him in the pros.
That was always kind of my MO, is you're a good player, no doubt, but the big thing is you can play a lot of positions. And in today's NFL, that's kind of the big thing. You can only travel 7, 8 offensive linemen, so being able to play different positions has been huge for me.
It's probably going to be a close call for someone like fullback Alec Ingold. He's projected to be taken in the 6th or 7th rounds. He's a fullback, and not every team even uses a fullback. But if they do, Ingold fits the bill because he can run the ball, block, and catch a few passes, too. Ingold hopes there's a spot for him somewhere in the NFL.
You want to believe that you're the best, and you got to believe that you're at that top 1%. But at the same time, you know, you can take a step back. I don't think anyone really expected this out of me from even last year. So, you know, just believing that in my family, you know, really tight, and believing that, you know, this is something that I was going to be able to do and make it happen is something I'm proud of right now. But I know this is a starting line. It's not the finish line.
The Brewers get to spend the night in New York, perhaps to clear their heads a bit. They've lost 4 in a row, 7 of their last 8. They'll begin a 3-game series with the Mets tomorrow night. At Wrigley Field, the Dodgers visit the Cubs. John Lester returns from the injured list and loses a tough one. Javier Baez makes some great plays in the field, but not this one. That let a run in. Final score, Dodgers 2, Cubs 1. You know, the Brewers have sausage races. The Colorado Rockies have a dental hygiene race with a tube of toothpaste, a toothbrush, and a tooth. Watch this. The Rockies' Daniel Murphy came out of the dugout. Oh, man. You didn't see the tooth? He almost chipped the tooth. But look at the tooth, to its credit. Kept its balance.
That's athletic ability.
But finished dead last behind the tube of toothpaste and the toothbrush. So how'd you get hurt, Daniel Murphy? Oh, a tooth hit me.
That's a
pretty little dental work.
Yeah.
Pretty good footwork there, by the way. All of them are trying to do that now.
And we're all for dental hygiene. There's no question.
Absolutely. Sponsored by somebody out there in Denver. Final shot, Gary.
Rain coming down through the Madison area right now. It'll probably last for a little while. Temperatures on the cool side, but we'll be back in the low 60s tomorrow.
All right. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you back here for News 3 Now at 10.